It's not the team
Scrabble.
who's lost.
Seahawks are reportedly engaged in talks to trade for Julio Jones. Russ and Julio reportedly discussing joining forces while Atlanta figures out where to deal. The all-pro receiver. Hey, Brandon, Russ and Julio down by the schoolyard discussing teaming up in Seattle is blank.
The blueprint, Jenna. And if they land Julio Jones, they go from a contender, because we throw around that title lightly, to a true contender, a real threat in the National Football League. Here's why I call it the blueprint, right? You no longer have the Legion of Boom. We know that they've been gone, and that's been blown up for a couple of years now. Russell Wilson is the key. Russell Wilson is the guy. He's the most winningest quarterback through 9 years in the history of our game. So what do? You surround him with talent. So now you have DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and you have Julio Jones. And you have a run game. So if I was an offensive coordinator, the way I would construct my team is I would lean on the run game. I would create 8-man boxes. So now you have one-on-one outside. A lot of times when you have one-on-one and you have one safety in the middle of the field, he leans to a threat. So he'll lean to a DK Metcalf. But if you lean to DK Metcalf, now you have Julio Jones on the other side, a Tyler Lockett on the other side. What are you going to do? So essentially what they're going to create is cover zero. Cover zero, you only run cover zero when the game is on the line and there's nothing else to do. That's what we call, we're throwing everything at you, including the kitchen sink. So this could be dangerous if they land Julio Jones, because they'll literally be unstoppable. They have Chris Carson coming back. He's a monster. They upgraded the running game, and now you have 3 threats at the wide receiver position. Who are you going to double? It was easy last year, Nick, because they had DK Metcalf on one side. They doubled him. They viced him. They leaned the safety to his side. They had Tyler Lockett. All they did is play 12 yards off of Tyler Lockett, so he couldn't do that. So this is going to be dangerous. This is the blueprint to winning another Super Bowl in Seattle.
Brandon, I know it's going to feel like I'm picking on you this morning, but football is really your wheelhouse. And when you have a fact error like that, I can't let it go. When you say that you only play cover zero in this very specific situation, unless, of course, you are the Jets and defending a Hail Mary, then you also play cover zero and you lose to try to keep your unperfect season alive.
You're going to go back to that? Nobody remembers that play.
Yeah, I got to. I'm just messing with you. All right, more importantly, though, this is more Rodgers fuel. At this point, I've got to wonder if other NFC contenders aren't doing things just to try to make things worse in Green Bay between the Packers and Aaron Rodgers, hoping he gets traded to the AFC. Because if you're Aaron Rodgers and you're like, oh, okay, so like the Vikings, they called Kirk Cousins, and now the Seahawks, they are trying to get Julio Jones. Meanwhile, my team is doing nothing. And by the way, Packers, even if you're not going to trade for him, lie and leak this to the media. Why is there not a report out of Green Bay that the Packers are hot after Julio Jones? That way, when they don't get him, they can be like, we tried. Atlanta was unreasonable. They're like, we're not trading him there. He said he doesn't want to live in the cold. Something. I don't get it. I don't understand why the Packers aren't involved in this, or at least not lying and claiming they're involved in this, Wild.
What type of analysis that Packers should lie to Aaron Rodgers? That's the way to a guy's heart. Lie to him some more. That's a good one, sure. Hey, even worse than not telling you about Jordan Love. Now we're lying to you. Hey, give it a shot. You can't get any worse. Hey, my answer, Jenna, is Lil Wayne inspiration. Lil Wayne has a famous line. It says, real trades move in silence like trade lasagna. And that's why this trade is not actually going to happen. We heard all about the AB trade. AB's going to Seattle. Oh, it didn't happen. And guess what? Russ was mad. I think we're hearing too much about this trade. It doesn't happen. Sorry, Seattle. Sorry, Brandon. Still not going to happen. Headed to New England.
Oh, man.
Say sorry to Russ. Russ is up, maybe watching. He just tweeted, rise and shine. Still talking. Time for the weird and wonderful from our national pastime. How about for...
Oh, we've got some new data on NFL jerseys. Guess who's number 1 and 2? That guy, Tim Tebow, as Brandon predicted. Here's something else Brandon predicted. that Justin Fields should go to the Jets because look at 3, 4, and 5. Justin Fields, Justin Fields, Justin Fields. Brandon.
Wow.
Zach Wilson's number 2 jersey, not in the top 15. What's the deal with your fan base, buddy? You got Justin Fields up there, no Zach Wilson.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We'll get there. Listen, you guys know I was standing on the table for Justin Fields, but I'm all in on Zach. That's who we chose, so that's who I'm riding with. The Jets fan base, you have to earn their respect. They're not just going to buy your jersey. This is why we talked about this being a tough market, because you would think that the number 2 overall pick, his jersey would be there. Absolutely not. You have to earn it, and when he does, it will be the bestseller.
Important, once again, as the archivist, all in on Zach Wilson. I don't think that's going to age well, Brandon, but I'm writing it down. All in on Zach Wilson. It's on the sheet, guys.
Wilds has
it's on
more.
the sheet, America.
What, Wilds?
I have no choice.
I'll save it for next time.
All right, drawing a blank now. Let's starting to get a clear picture of how the playoffs in the East are going to shake out. Bucks swept the Heat. Nets are up 3-1 on Boston, and the Sixers is going for the sweep tonight in D.C. So, Brandon, the team in the East that looks the best so far in the playoffs is blank.
Wow, Philly is handling their business, doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. I don't know why you're singling up and playing one-on-one with Embiid. The Bucks, they sweep the Heat. I mean, the Heat, what happened? You guys look phenomenal in the bubble. What happened this year? What happened this series? But I got to go with my team, the Nets, because they are the best team. We know they were the favorite going into the playoffs because of those 3 guys. Those 3-headed monsters, KD, Kyrie, James Harden, phenomenal. 104 points in Game 4. That's a playoff record. Told you guys this was going to happen. I told you defense didn't matter because their offense would be too much. But when you look at their defense, they're actually playing good. Like, if Tatum didn't drop 50, them boys would have been swept already. So the answer is the Nets, Nick, and you know that.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I'm going to try this the next time I apply for car insurance. It's like if you ignore the 7-car pileup I caused, I have a flawless driving record. What? Brandon, listen, I follow you on IG. I know you had a very busy Friday night, hobnobbing, rubbing elbows with celebrities, recording podcasts, doing a lot. But on Friday night, Jason Tatum did drop 50, which is why, America, if you look at the little orange bar at the bottom, you see how it says 4-0 by the Bucks and 3-0 by the Sixers, and then there's a little 1 by the thing with the Nets. Okay, yeah, Brandon, the Heat might not be great. You know who's also not great? The team that's running ISOs for Jabari Parker, the Boston Celtics. So the answer is the Bucks look the best. The Bucks had an actual threat in the first round. There was no universe that existed where the Wizards or the Celtics were ever going to win their series. The best either of those teams could hope would be to force it 5. We'll see if the Wizards can. They probably can't. The Celtics did. The Bucks were playing a team with 2 legitimate stars in Bam and Jimmy, a great head coach, and a team that had the belief they could win. And after Game 1, they annihilated them without Giannis having to be dominant. And so it doesn't mean the Bucks are the best team in the East, but the team that has looked the best, by the way, not just in the East, in the whole playoffs so far, is unquestionably Milwaukee.
Okay, here's the thing. Sometimes boring is actually the most efficient. Like when you see rich people, it's like, what do you do? It's like, oh, I'm a Hollywood star. I was in Top Gun. Like, I knew I recognized you. Like, how about you? It's like, well, I run a movie studio. Like, oh, okay, yeah, I should have done it. How about you? Like, I'm the gravel king of North Dakota. Like, wow. And it's like, and I've got more money than everybody. That's what the 76ers are. The 76ers are just boring and just quietly handling the Wizards, and no one's talking about them because they don't have the big 3, and they didn't sweep the Heat because the Heat had to, like, exercise some demons. But if you look at the point differential, boom, there's the Sixers. So they're going to sweep, and we're going to be like, wow, the Sixers are just quietly making their way through. Not a lot of fanfare. The Bucks have, like, jumped up on the attention meter, but the Sixers are amazing. So I'm going to go with the Sixers, Jenna.
Why does he
Travel
all
Kings
pick
of the
someone different?
Northeast,
Like,
Philadelphia 76ers.
there's a right